Bring it on. Want some, get some.
Yes, I am a pirate.
You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything.
It's a pirate's life for me.
Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirates.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
We will get Omaha. I can promise you that.
Painted purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down to my soul. And I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome in to the Pirate Football Playback that we normally have. And now it's our Bowl Mania Extravaganza Spectacular. Let's start out with, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the great state of LaGrange. I'm just kidding. The town of LaGrange, and that is Mr. Kyle Barber. What's up?
What's going on, Dave? Sick as a dog. Going to try to pull my way through the podcast here. Exciting. Pirates playing the Wolfpack in the Military Bowl. A little bit surprised with some of the attitude of Pirate Nation. Seem a little scared of the Wolfpack. Where's your nutsack at? That ain't who we are or what we are. We like Ruff said, remember who you are. You're Pirates, and you get an opportunity play the Wolfpack. You go beat the crap out of them.
Let's bring in Matt Semenza. Matt, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
I was going to be nice and get into the show a little bit later on to bring this up, but Kyle's being Kyle Love. That's why I love the guy. I know Kyle's reaction, but I'm going to ask you as a former player. Let me ask you this question. So when you are a player from the 90s, okay, you're a player from the 1990s, you guys were playing against, like big name programs all the time. Your mindset was not like, oh, let's keep it competitive, or that you guys were actually beating Miami down in the Orange Bowl, speaking of which, NC State in 1996. Oh, by the way, we had a nice run against NC State in the 90s. We beat them at least 3 times. So they beat us the last 3, but it is a rivalry. And I thought Doran, for the most part, in the press conference right before our show was well behaved. He said, we don't play them much. We don't get a chance to play them much. And for me, I'm like, well, then that means to get Boo Corrigan to call John Gilbert. Let's put some more ink, some more games in. But anyway, having said all that, what are your thoughts on the fact of some of Pirate Nation being scared to play NC State?
Well, this is kind of the first I've heard of it, to be honest. Like, I haven't really had a chance to read the message boards yet since the game was announced because I was out. But, my feeling is like, look, when you're a Pirate, you look at this matchup, you embrace it. Like the great teams from the 90s, the thing that all those teams and players had in common was we expected to win those games. Exactly. There was no like, oh, they're better than us. We expected to win those games. We firmly felt like we were the better team, and that's the mindset you have to have. And I don't love the matchup only because we play NC State next year. They were 3rd on my list. I was hoping in this particular order, I wanted UNC, Pitt, and then if we couldn't get those 2, I wanted NC State. Like I said, just because we play them next year. But the mindset has to be is like, we need to go up to Annapolis and play a great football game and expect to win. That's the mindset.
Yeah. And Kyle, when, you think about Kyle, I know how Kyle feels about it. This fan base, look, I'm tired of hearing about P4. I love Coach Harrell. Stop with the P4. Stop with the group of 5. We are Division 1. Okay, we're Division 1. We're not Division 2, Division 3. That part really makes me angry. I can't say the word I want to say because we're a family show. and I like to keep it that way. But I would just say we are Division One. We're doing NIL, we do scholarships, we do pretty much everything the same way. And yes, we don't have the money NC State has, but we still have like I think it's $54 million a year. So we're not a small school. I'm so sick and tired of that little brother and all that stuff. But I'll tell you what, Matt, to add to your point, let's go up there with a chip on our shoulder. Okay. Stop acting like we're the little brother. If you want them to stop treating you like a little brother, hit your older brother and punch him in the mouth, right? I mean, Matt, how is that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And let me just say before we get too much into this NC State game, Dave, okay. For everybody listening, and it looks like we have a great crowd tonight. I had a blast today. I had an absolute blast today watching the meltdown from the SEC, from the coaches like Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban, who is probably the biggest hypocrite in college football. I had a blast listening to the meltdown today from the SEC fans who felt like Alabama got robbed and Ole Miss got robbed. And it was just awesome to watch that. But and I definitely want to get into that tonight too. But yeah, I mean, in terms of NC State, look, NC State is not – look, they're a good, solid team, and they've been a good, solid team for a while. And it'll be a great test for us. You know, every week is a tough test in college football. But, here's the thing, right? The one thing about bowl games is that the team who wants to be there the most will always have a chance to win. So you see this all the time in bowl games, right? Like you'll see a team that just doesn't want to be there. They take you lightly. They'd rather be off, getting ready for Christmas and New Year's and, getting ready for the off season. And, so I do think, ECU will be ready to play. I think we're going to have a good few weeks of practice here. And I expect to go up there and compete.
No doubt, Matt. And by the way, put your questions or comments here. Bubba couldn't be here tonight, but you're stuck with me. So, Matt, as far as this matchup is concerned, for me, I'm like Cliff Godwin. If we had to play in a grocery store parking lot, I don't care where the stadium is. I don't care who the opponent is. Let's play our game. And if our guys will just keep it the main thing, and that is to go up there and win the football game, I really believe this is a good matchup for us. They have talent, but guess what? So do we. We're not going to put them down in order to make ourselves better. We already are good enough to win this football game without even having to do that.
No doubt about it. And did you guys ever see the show Blue Mountain State? Did you ever see that show?
I know of it. I've never watched it. I know
football show. One of the funniest shows. Kyle, did you see that show? Did you ever see that show, Kyle?
I watched some of it. I know what you're talking about, Blue Mountain State. I've never watched it regularly.
Oh, man, hilarious show. But, Dave, you just remind – the reason why I mentioned it is because there's an episode where you talk about playing anywhere, playing in a parking lot. The two teams, Blue Mountain State and the other team, agree to play in a cornfield. and they meet randomly, and they organize a football game. And I love that. I thought that was awesome. But yeah, I mean, look, this is the type of thing where, I don't think ECU doesn't have to look at NC State as the bigger brother. They just need to look at this as another opponent, right? Another solid opponent that they have to go play. You're going to go prepare and get ready to play a football game. And I guess it means a little more for the in-state guys, than it does from the guys on our roster from Georgia and, maybe some other states. But you just got to have a strong mindset and be ready to go win a game.
Look, here's the thing. They always say it's our Super Bowl or our bowl game. Well, this time it really is. Embrace it. Embrace the hate. Embrace the rivalry. Embrace what NC State always claims it is. They always say it is our bowl game. Well, it really is. And it would mean a lot to Pirate Nation if we won this game. And there's no need to deny it. There's no need to BS it. And there's no need to beat around the bush. Big brother? No, I got your big brother hanging. They ain't my big brother. Evil stepbrother, maybe. But we're going to, they're a 6-6 football team. It's not like this is some 12-0, mega school here. It's not like it's Alabama or, hell, Alabama ain't a good example this year. But Oregon, exactly. It's a winnable football game against a quality opponent. We better be more excited to play this game than they are. And
Yep.
if we are, and if we go execute,
it will show.
and we go up there with an attitude, and we play our asses off, and the guys like Rajay Harris, who have been around this program for years and understand what the culture is about and understand what playing and beating NC State means, and our recent history against in-state opponents is horrible. This is a chance to right all those wrongs. This is a chance. Mike Houston never beat an in-state opponent. This is a chance for Blake Harrell to start off 1-0 against in-state opponents and against our biggest in-state rival. And that's right, it is a rival. Despite what the Wolfpack says, it is a rivalry. And you know, for the Pirate fans that are we can play them in the first game of next year, we don't bullshit crap. You're just scared you're going to lose. Quit being scared. That's not who we are. You let NC State complain about having to play us twice in a row. You let them complain about us having to play us in a bowl game. Our fan base that are we've lost so many times recently games like this when we're scared we're going to lose another one. And we need to quit that attitude. And the players better not have that attitude. I guarantee you Blake Harrell don't have that attitude.
No.
So we need to go to Annapolis, take care of business, slap the crap out the Wolfpack, and come home with a victory, get our 8th win of the season. Let Blake start off 1-0 against in-state opponents. And look, I'm telling you right now, you want to feel good about the offseason, you want to be fired up, go beat NC State in the bowl game.
No doubt.
Where did you guys hear the negative? Where was this?
Facebook, Pirate Radio's Facebook page.
Really?
Pirate Radio's Facebook page. I'm one of the message board groups. One of the chat groups I'm in, there was several people being negative, and I won't name names. They're friends of mine. But, you know, Facebook on Pirate Radio or Pirate Radio's Facebook page. I haven't even been over to HTC or Boneyard Banner to see what they're saying, but just primarily Facebook. And I'm sure there's other places too. It's just, and to me, it's just not what we're about. We should embrace this. This is an opportunity.
Here's the thing, and here's the thing. We have a hard time. You know, Dave Doran, when he said we don't get to play them much. Well, schedule us, and this is an opportunity because ACC schools won't schedule us on a regular basis. I will say that NC State, to be fair, has been fairer than any of the other schools, so I will give them credit. I don't know how much further past 28, but we'll see. But Duke, North Carolina, Wake Forest has scheduled us. Virginia. Oh, let's talk about Virginia Tech. They won't play us. So here's your chance. Go up there, like Kyle said, embrace it. Do like the team from the 90s did. We have a lot of talent on this football team. We're peaking at the right time. We have all the coaches. We'll have to do a show soon about all the draft. Listen to me, the high school signing class. I mean, the future is bright for East Carolina. So I can understand if this was a 2-10 football team like we had last year, but we have 7 wins. Hey guys, here's another fact I thought about right before we came on the show. We're a 7-5 football team. Regardless, the good news is we're going to have a winning season.
And to be fair, David, I don't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to finish this thought that I was making. And to be fair, there's a whole lot of casual Pirate fans that don't post on message boards or on Facebook that are going to be extremely excited about this matchup. This will be exactly what they want. So I do think we'll sell a lot of tickets. I think we'll have a good crowd up there. I don't expect no Peach Bowl type crowd, but I would expect that we'll send between 10 and 15,000 up there.
Look, and the great thing is, Matt, this stadium only holds 34,000. So it's kind of like when you and I were there at East Carolina at 35,000 for Ficklin Stadium back in the day. Here's a chance for us to sell boatloads and boatloads and boatloads of tickets. Don't wait. Go ahead and get your tickets. We'll have a lot of purple there. That's going to make a huge difference. If you're in the DMV, hey, here's a ball game for you. There are a lot of people that live in, hey, our good buddy Johnny Robertson, JR, Johnny Stats, he lives in Northern Virginia. We've got a lot of people in Maryland. We've got people all over the place. We have a great fan base. Here's your chance. You want to know what you can do with the program? Buy your bowl tickets. Get your go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, the hotel rooms in Annapolis are going very fast. I'm not the Chamber of Commerce for Annapolis, but I can tell you they're going very fast. And what's going to happen is you're going to have to stay in Northern Virginia or somewhere in Maryland. And I don't even know if there will be any rooms in D.C., but they'll be sky high. But make sure you go ahead and get your tickets and your hotel rooms as quickly as possible. And, Matt, this is just, to me, Let's talk about your experience in playing at bowl games. We talked about the 96 season. You're part of that team that went 8-3. It was very sad, but you did have the 2 Liberty Bowls to talk about, right? Off the top of my head. Your bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. Like our first Liberty Bowl, we played Illinois. I'm sure most of the people here remember that game. That was a tough game.
Yeah.
I'll say like our bowl preparation was really good. Like we, and again, like not to be repetitive, but the mindset of those great teams from the 90s was that you expected to go win those games. And, but you have to have a good month of preparation. And like, what I like about this situation here is this game is not played until the 28th. So what's today, fellas? Today is what, the 7th or the 8th? Today's the 8th. So we have a long time to really scheme up NC State, put together a great game plan. And in addition to that, you get younger players reps, which is great. This is going to be a cold weather game. So it also gives you time to prepare for that. And like, this is one of the advantages of not having an indoor. When you prepare and practice in the elements, you're going to be very prepared to go play a football game in cold weather. So, but yeah, I mean, look, those teams wanted to go play. They expected to win. And, this should be no different. I mean, I would think right now, the way this team is feeling, they probably feel like they have a lot of momentum, especially offensively with the way we played our last 5 and, not counting portions of that Navy game. But, I think it's a good matchup. The line just came out. I saw we're a 5-point dog, which is fine. That's fine.
Take it. We'll take it.
We'll take it. Let's go up there and play a game. That's what it's about.
And something.
Yeah, 5 points is fair. I saw the projected line was 8.5, I think. So I think 5 points is fair. This is going to be a game that, look, when you're going to start hearing the players, you're going to hear trash talk. You got a lot of people that have the houses divided like this. You're going to have a lot of couples going up there that, the wife's a Wolfpack, the husband's a Pirate, and vice versa. So you're going to have a lot of that. You're going to have a lot of family. I got a lot of family, particularly from my mother's side, that are NC State grads. So, there'll be a lot of that. You talked about, Dave, hotels, getting your room. I'm in a situation where we got 2 dogs, and I literally have no family living in the town I live in. My sister's a half hour away. She's the closest that can take care of my dogs. The dog sitter, I know, I got up with her. She's booked her for the week after Christmas, so I'm going to have to start looking for an Airbnb.
I have a question for you.
Dog-friendly hotel, Kyle.
I'm doing an auto. Yeah, that was my second option. The second option was a dog-friendly hotel. Now, the first one, is there some kind of pet resort or a place up there, a veterinary office that has boarding?
No, we typically, what we do, we take our dogs with us. We do Airbnb. I don't know how many Airbnb are available in the Annapolis area, but I need to start hitting that up tonight. Our tickets, I know tickets are on sale through the Military Bowl website. Are tickets on sale yet through ECU, or do we know yet?
The tickets are already on. No, I'm not sure about that. I do know that they put up an email today that they're doing a bus trip. So they're doing that for the Pirate Club, and they have tickets, but I'm not sure if that's they're on sale. We've already got.
When does the bus trip leave?
Let me look at that email again, guys. Keep talking, and I'll look at that for you.
Yeah, a bus trip would be a great idea. I'm just curious if the bus trip is the day of, the day before, 2 days before.
Day of.
Day of. Okay. Well, that would be an option too, where we wouldn't even have to worry about boarding the dogs. But
Kyle, just so you know,
fun.
I booked the Hilton Garden Inn downtown Annapolis. I did notice that it's dog friendly, but it's like an extra $50 to bring the dog. So
yeah, well, a lot of times with dog friendly, there's different rules. I'm not really comfortable with putting our dogs in a dog friendly hotel because our big dog Nick doesn't like a lot of strangers, and she will bark and bark and bark and bark and bark. So I don't want to get thrown out of a hotel when we're not there. She'll be fine when we're there, but when we're not there, that could be an issue. But I'll look around. My preference will be Airbnb, but if it doesn't work out, then I may seek out a dog-friendly hotel. And if the bus trip is day of, that'll be a last resort.
I'll put it up in the chat for you guys.
Sorry, Dave. I just wanted to throw up a question. I saw Chuck Saez had a question here. Is this the same venue? No, this is at Navy's Stadium, Chuck. I don't know. Maybe Chuck may have been thinking of the old RFK. Is the old RFK still around? Do they still use that?
No,
I know they played the Military Bowl there a few
did
times.
initially, we played in Maryland when we played Maryland in 2010. Yes. But by the way, a sidebar really fast. They're going to the new proposal, by the way, guys, since I'm a Redskins fan, sorry. I will continue to say Redskins. They are looking at putting that stadium, the new stadium for the Redskins, back in D.C., where RFK Stadium used to be, or I'm not 100% if they do that, if they still have it up yet, or if they've already torn it down. If they have not torn it down, they will. If they already have torn it down, that's where the new proposal has come out. They're going to put a new stadium right there where that's the northeast side of the city for DC.
Yeah, but there's not create confusion for people now that ask that question. It is played at Navy Marine Corps Stadium in Annapolis, and it has been, for about a decade now.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, if you ride in the truck, you can keep the Justice said I'll let you keep the dog in the truck, Kyle.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind, Justin.
Justin is the best. And let's go ahead and
Monica actually mentioned something about the bus here, fellas, just really quick. So I think somebody asked about the bus.
Yeah.
Bus leaves at 9 a.m. and departs 30 minutes after the game. So I guess if you're looking to just kind of go up there for the day and not stay in a hotel, that's a good option.
Yeah, that would be. And it would be something, like I said, depending on what we can find pet friendly, we might have to look into. It beats the hell out of driving up there for the day.
Yeah, no doubt.
But you miss a lot of the fun. At that point, you might as well just watch the damn thing on TV. Because to me, I'm encouraging everybody to go. I shouldn't even say that, but part of the experience of a bowl is doing all the bowl festivities.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like the first thing I did today when it was announced, like I said, I went and I booked the Hilton Garden Inn downtown Annapolis because, and I hope we get a chance to meet up with a lot of people who watch the show. I would love to party that. I'm definitely going to party that night on Friday, and
we're looking. By the way,
I'm gonna have a lot of fun that night. So hopefully we can meet up with some people here, and would love to do a little TSO, tailgate type thing. Have a good time.
Yeah, we're talking about doing a TSO. We want to do a show at a sports bar. We're working on that, and we've got Pays on. Hey, Pays is going to be up there with us. Maybe we can get Pays. We'll do a show for like an hour. Oh man, the drinks are on Justin Butts.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go, man. So Kyle, you get a free ride up there, and the drinks are on you can drink on Justin.
Just so you guys know, Bubba couldn't join us tonight, but he did mention at the TSO pregame party that the first round was on him. So everybody listening, hit up Bubba. First round's on him.
Well, for Bubba and Justin, I want you both to know my drink of choice is Buffalo Trace. So if anybody that knows whiskey knows what I'm talking about. It's not cheap, and I'm not joking. That's my favorite whiskey. So Justin, I hope you're good. I hope you're true to your word.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, especially after the game. I'm sure Justin, when we win big on NC State, then if it's about 1 point or 30, then I'm sure that you'll check that out. Craig says he'll be with you at the Garden Inn, Matt. Hilton Garden.
Let's go.
Oh,
hey, look.
Wait a minute. You and Craig at the same place? That might be like Joe Walsh back in the 70s tearing up the rooms. I don't know. Someone's to meet me at the bar at the Hilton. I only drink brown liquor, and the first drink is on me.
Craig and Pays first drink is on me. How about that? I'm a rum drinker, so I drink. I like to drink Kraken rum.
You're Captain Morgan, right?
I do like a good tequila too. I do like a good tequila. So I'll definitely be partaking. So I would love to have drinks with everybody.
All right.
Yeah, I tried the Matt introduced me to Kraken rum back in August. It's pretty solid.
By the way, Alan Vick, let's do some questions and comments real quick.
God almighty, Alan Vick typed the doggone
He
novel.
said, fan base should be happy with NC State. There are no negatives to this good opponent, good venue, good place to watch a ball game. Spend your money, and if you can't make it, it's ESPN's happy because this game is going to get a good number of eyes on it for TV. The Military Bowl got what they wanted now. Two fan bases that will travel and spend money. They could care less. So these two teams will meet to start next season. I don't understand the whining amongst Pirate fans. I agree with you 1,000%.
It's nothing to do with it, except for a handful of people. They're just using that as the excuse. I hate to say it, but it's Pirate fans that are scared we're going to lose.
Craig says Army not being in the playoffs tells you a lot about our league as viewed in the national landscape. If we were 11-1 and ranked 24, we would be living. Absolutely, I agree with that 1,000%. And Pace says first in time NC State has played in the Military Bowl. ECU actually played in the highest attended Military Bowl in 2010 versus Maryland when it was at RFK. Virginia Tech sold out Annapolis last year because it's so close. Let's see. We'll just keep going.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That was a rough game too. Maryland was outstanding that year. They had the Fridge or Ron Friesian. I guess they called him
Ralph Friesian.
Who was a hell of a coach. I mean, Maryland had it going there for a few years when he was the coach.
Yeah, their AD was horrible and fired him. Then she ended up leaving there and going to NC State. Oddly enough, she's not there anymore.
Craig says he lives in Fredericksburg. I didn't know that, Craig. I knew you were Northern Virginia. Anyway, an hour and a half to Annapolis. You'll be able to find a commutable hotel, no problem. Let's see.
I didn't realize Craig lived in Fredericksburg. One of my best friends is from Fredericksburg.
Oh, this.
And one of my favorite stores is in Fredericksburg. Craig, you ever go to House of Cars, Virginia, there by Texas Roadhouse in Fredericksburg? Dave went. All right, there we go. Dave's back.
How about that? If Justin says, if I get the suite, all the sports objective will get access.
There you go. We're going to get access to Justin's suite.
And all the drinks we want.
That's right. We're going to hit up the, what do you call those damn refrigerators there in the hotels where you just grab stuff and you pay per item?
Oh, yeah. I know. Hey, those drinks are so high.
We'll leave Justin with like a $5,000 bill.
Yeah.
That's great. Pirates. Let's see. Monica, good hotels in Easton, Maryland, just 30 minutes away. Yeah, I was going to say BWI Airport, that kind of stuff, or they have all around there. There'll be a lot of hotels. I just want people I want Pirate Nation to show up. I don't want to hear any excuses about we live for these moments. This is our culture. This is how we are. This is our way of life. Nobody expects us to win. I mean, if this is not the perfect scenario for Pirate Nation, nobody thinks we're going to win. Our fan base don't even think we're going to win. But I can guarantee you that our players think we can win. Our coaches, including Blake Harrell, think we can win. And we're going to go up there and we need to show out. And Kyle's right. If these people think they always want to say NC State, this is our bowl game. Well, it is our bowl game. Great line, Kyle. Got to give you props, my friend.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So, and this is our
look, another thing. I'll if anybody has the guts to stay at a random Super 8 in Baltimore, I'll pay for your hotel room. Whatever the lowest rated Super 8 is in Baltimore, I'll pay for your hotel room.
That is hilarious. I got to give you props.
I'll tell you a quick story. We went to a concert in Charleston several years ago to see Cody Jinks. And so I was like, I didn't know Charleston as well as I should. And I was like, hell, hotels in North Charleston are a lot cheaper. Let me tell you something, man. You're staying at the Red Roof Inn in North Charleston to save money, you are gambling. Thank God I lived in Kinston a lot. I was quite comfortable. It didn't bother me none. But it was for some people, they would have been a little terrified.
Paige says, Kyle, the Hampton Inn and Suites and Sonesta Suites is dog friendly.
All right, I have to get more details on that, on what they mean by dog friendly. I have a 75-pound yellow lab German Shepherd mix, and then and then some kind of doodle mix that my wife has. It's a moron, but I love her anyway. My wife and the dog. So I'll have to get more information because pet friendly doesn't always include 75-pound dogs.
Paige says, look at the Sailor Oyster Bar for the live broadcast. Paige, can we do like an hour show? Could you spin some tunes for us, like for an hour or two afterwards?
That would be as long as it's not the Blue Oyster Bar. As long as it's not the Blue Oyster Bar. What movie?
Academy.
Police Academy, exactly.
Oh my God.
That sounds good, man. We definitely need to do a good live broadcast.
Yeah, all four of us are going to be there. I mean, the chances of that, and I have the equipment now that's ready to rock and roll. So a lot better than 2 years ago. After a Birmingham experience, the place was nice and everything, but it was definitely felt like a rookie that night. So that won't happen anymore.
Yeah, I plan on being there unless I die first.
All right. And Kyle, we actually have our guest. Do you want to bring him on?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to welcome in now. We're going to get back to talking bowl games here, but we're going to welcome in Coach, longtime Pitt County coach, and former ECU Pirate baseball player Paul Hill, along with Pete Rivera there with him. And Paul's got a big event coming up celebrating 40 years of coaching and teaching the great game of baseball. And he's going to tell us all about it here. Welcome in, Paul.
Hey, how y'all doing? I appreciate the time. Pete's running a little bit late, but yeah, we have an event.
We just got Paul.
Yeah, just Paul right now, Coach Hill. I've been doing it 40 years, and I do a player appreciation night for the players every year. And this year was 40 years, and my family and friends that know me said, hey, this is 40 years. This is 4 decades of you coaching, working out with players, coaching at the high school level, college level, international baseball teams. Why don't you make this a big event? And I was kind of like, I kind of like to keep a low profile, and it's about my players, but it's been 40 years, and it's going to be December 15th, Sunday at the Murphy Center in Harvey Hall. Our keynote speaker is Ray Mercer. Along with that evening, the legendary Hall of Famer George Whitfield will be former Pirate coach back in the 70s. Along with Monty Little will be in attendance. I talked to him yesterday. He wanted to relax and be in the audience and enjoy the evening with everybody, as well as Coach Gary Overton will be in attendance. He was my baseball coach with Billy Best. Coach Billy Best cannot be there. He did a video. The other speakers that will be speaking, Jake Jacobs, he and I were teammates at East Carolina University. Both of them were pitchers. And Phoenix Evans, another Pirate football player back in the 90s. Phoenix and I have done football camps together. We're both school teachers in Pitt County schools, and he's helped me out. I've helped him out. Chase Martin, he's a West Carteret High School standout. He played at Elon College football. He is coming from Florida. Pete just showed up. Anyway, he's from Florida. Chase Martin, aka 252, inspirational motivational speaker, along with Keith McLawhorn, former standout basketball player at J.H. Rose High School, as well as played collegiate basketball over in California. He also played with the international basketball at United Kingdom, and is now the proud owner and operator of the Dungeon Gym here in Greenville, North Carolina, and promoting some big-time kids.
Paul, to get back to what you were saying, kind of burying the lead there, let's talk more about the keynote speaker, Ray Mercer, former world heavyweight champion. For any boxing fans out there, you get your $15 ticket will include your dinner from Parker's Barbecue. That's worth the $15 alone. And then you get to hear, and I'm assuming meet, former world heavyweight boxing champion Ray Mercer. He was world champion back in 91 or sometime in the early 90s. Talk about how you got Ray Mercer, your involvement with him, and a legitimate former world heavyweight boxing champion in Greenville.
Okay. Here's Pete.
Yep. So I'm on the board of the directors for the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm also on the board of directors for the Legends Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm also a former Olympic amateur boxer who made it to the Olympic trials in '96, but did not obviously make the team, got beat, but at least was able to be Olympic hopeful. And so a lot of the champions are with me, aligned. I'm partners with Debbie King, daughter of Don King. We're throwing fights here in North Carolina twice, once in Charlotte coming up on February 28th, and then once again June 28th. That's a Saturday at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh. And so, basically the fight world is my world, and Paul is one of my very dear, good friends, lifelong childhood friends. And so when Paul asked for a little bit of assistance to conjoin our worlds together and make it more around champions and not just necessarily a linear championship of just baseball, but also basketball, also boxing, also other sports and girls softball, etc. We conjoined the two cultures of sports around strong champions, and basically all the heavyweights go where I go. I'm also producing the Larry Holmes movie. And I'm in talks with Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe right now to produce their movies. So full feature length films for theatrical release. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm also in your waiting room, by the way, in another laptop if you let me get.
That's awesome. I'm really glad. I would love to have you on when we have more time to really get into boxing, because I'm a huge boxing fan. And, just for like the listeners who maybe aren't so familiar, guys, with Ray Mercer, this is a guy who fought everybody back in the 90s. He fought Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Shannon Briggs, Larry Holmes. You mentioned Easton Assassin, right? Larry Holmes. Ray Mercer was a beast. And if you guys want to see who Ray Mercer is, Google the Ray Mercer Tommy Morrison fight, who a lot of people know Tommy Morrison from Rocky V, which is probably one of the more, it's actually one of the more disturbing, brutal knockouts that's ever taken place in a boxing ring. But this guy was a legitimate world champion, and what a cool opportunity, man. I wish I was in North Carolina to have an opportunity to come down.
See, Pete, you're actually getting him. We're trying to get him to move back to North Carolina to be near Greenville. So you're tempting him now, and love to talk to you off air too, because we're trying to, in my hometown, we're trying to bring boxing in a much smaller level than what you're doing. We're working on that for 2025. So that's one of my goals. So I'd love to meet up with you and talk to you for sure. Not on the show right now, but
absolutely, we can definitely do that. Definitely, 100%.
All right. Yeah, I'll be there next Sunday night, because this is the kind of stuff I love. Especially, I wanted to talk to both.
That's next Saturday night, I believe, Dave.
Is it Saturday night?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
14th at 4 p.m. at the Murphy Center.
I'm sorry.
Tickets are $15. Like I said, that includes your dinner from Parker's Barbecue. As mentioned before, you're going to have Ray Mercer as the keynote speaker. Jake Jacobs, Coach Gary Overton is going to be in attendance. All the people that Coach Paul Hill mentioned. Plus, by video, you're going to have Mike Fox will be making an appearance by video, former UNC head coach. You're going to have Coach Leggett, legendary Clemson head coach, by video. Billy Best going to be by video or in person, Paul?
He'll be on video. He couldn't make it, but he sent a video and talked to him 2 days ago.
Guys, and I'm sorry, I thought it was Sunday. I beg your pardon. It's Saturday night. So
no,
you guys,
it is Sunday night at 4 o'clock.
I was wrong. Okay.
All right. Sorry. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So, Coach, I was going to say for both you and Pete, what came to mind is the world I live in, as far as my day job, is hospitality. But we're always using sports analogies and things how we can motivate our team. And what just popped in my head when Pete was talking is, if you're in the business world, this is a perfect opportunity to bring your team, as far as when I say team, your sales team, a management team, anything like that, for them to come. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of inspiration that next Sunday night.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of synergy, a lot of vibe with a lot of different champions, not just baseball champions.
No doubt. And those of us that we obviously love Coach, I guess we lost them. Maybe we can get them. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know what happened with them. They lost their connection. Okay. But anyway, right. Sunday. It is Sunday the 15th at 4 p.m. I screwed that up. It is Sunday the 15th at 4 p.m. at the Murphy Center. And like we said, this Ray Mercer and a ton of other great speakers. It'll be a great night and well worth the $15 for the barbecue alone. And you can go to our Facebook page if you want to know more about how to go and get tickets. There's a link on our Facebook page to Coach Hill's Venmo, and just pay him directly, and that is how you can attend. And if we get him back, we'll let him back in. I'll shoot him a quick text message. But you guys go ahead and talk a little more Pirate football in the meantime.
Yeah. Dave, you mind if I just kind of, since we're getting back into football here, there was something I wanted to talk about.
Go for it.
You know, I just, and this might take a minute or so bear with me here, but
no, you're good.
Everything here with the college football playoff in the last few days, and you know, this is something that like was really fascinating to kind of watch the selection show today and see how everything unfolded. And you know, you knew that if Alabama got left out of the playoff, there was just going to be outrage, right? And I really thought it was comical today to hear the outrage from SEC fans and, you know, that fraud Lane Kiffin down in Ole Miss and Nick Saban, who's the biggest hypocrite on the planet. I thought the meltdown was hysterical, and I'll tell you why. The SEC and Nick Saban, okay, were the people who led the charge against the SEC teams playing at that time, the group of five, the G4, however you want to put it. They led the charge against the SEC playing those games. Now, all of a sudden, guess what happens, right? Alabama gets left out of the playoff. Ole Miss gets left out of the playoff. And you know what their argument is today? All of a sudden today, they're saying, well, hey, you know what? We're just not going to play any P5 non-conference games anymore. We're just going to look for, you know, according to the comments I saw, weaker opponents, G4 opponents. And, you know, I thought that was really hypocritical because, you know, you can't have it both ways. You can't lead the charge to not play, right? The group of four. And then all of a sudden, right, now that you need them, right, now we're just going to start scheduling. You know what? I propose that the AAC and the rest of the group of four, we don't play the SEC. I propose that. But I just thought it was absolutely hysterical, the meltdown, in particular from guys like Lane Kiffin and, you know, who they want to talk about strength of schedule. The college football playoff is a format. It's a 12-team format based on a certain criteria. And you know what? I think I personally, it might not be the best 12 teams per se, but based on the format that they laid out, I think they got it right.
No doubt.
Yeah, and Dave, if you will, Pete, there we go. We got them back. All right.
All right.
Hey guys, sorry about that. We're in the waiting room with Pete's laptop. We're on a phone. Can you let him in? That would be a much better.
Yeah, I'm not seeing him in the. To let you know, I'm not seeing him in there. So I'm trying to figure out why that is, but we don't have him on my screen. I don't have him backstage where I can see him, so I don't know what's going on there.
Okay, that's fine. We lost you, but anyway, we had trouble. We're over at Logan's Steakhouse. They let us have a room back here.
Okay,
I got you.
Wait,
well, go ahead, Paul.
ahead.
What else did you want to say about the event?
Just want to, you know, if you want to come out to an excitement event with Ray Mercer, keynote speaker, and you know, George Whitfield, Jake Jacobs, Keith McLawhorn. You got Phoenix Evans, you know, in attendance, Gary Overton, Monty Little, as well as videos from, you know, Jack Leggett, Clemson University. I've known did his baseball camps for 20, 25 years. Billy Best, former players of mine, the Puerto Ricans that I'm real close to. I've been going and doing camps and clinics and taking international teams down there for almost 25 years. But it's about the players and the parents, and without them, none of this would be possible. I want to thank Billy Parker and Parker's Barbecue feeding us that evening, as well as Rebel Nation, Pete Rivera and Susan, and my better half, Steffi, that you know, Kyle.
Yep.
Behind the scenes, these guys are doing tremendous work, and it would not be possible whatsoever. I'm gonna let Pete say a few words real quick as well.
But just basically, Greenville, North Carolina is blessed with a really good Olympic champion, 1988 Olympic gold medalist Ray Mercer. It's great for the kids to come out and meet him, get inspired to become champions within their own right with whatever they're focused on, whether it's baseball or school or, turning to a career. And all these kids have a great chance to really be inspired, be uplifted to touch grace. He's bringing his WBO belt. And much to your credit, what you were saying earlier about knocking out Tommy Duke Morrison right after Rocky V. Rocky V, Tommy Duke played a villain, came out of that movie, got knocked out like a villain. But Ray Mercer's number one distinctive honor is the fact that he is the only heavyweight boxing champion of the world to step into a UFC ring and knock out a UFC heavyweight champion of the world in Sylvia. And so they were both former champions. The Battle of the Former Champions happened. It's on YouTube. You Google it. It's like 30 seconds. Ray Mercer makes quick work out of him, and everybody didn't give Ray Mercer a chance. He walked into that ring, into that octagon as the underdog, and Sylvia took one hit to the noggin and was boom down on the floor, and then Ray Mercer finished it on top. Talk about overcoming adversity, overcoming triumph, overcoming all the things that are stacked up against you in the MMA octagon. He did, and so none of the Dana White, everybody didn't give him a chance, and he really, shined bright in that moment and showed the world that boxers are not to be discredited to MMA. And yes, MMA fighters are more dynamic, and yes, they have grappling in the ground and pound game, but no, boxers have a puncher's chance. So anyway, he'll be there, and he'll be ready to meet all the kids, sign autographs, take pictures. In our next event, we'll have even more celebrities, but the big thing is we're celebrating all the kids, all of Coach Hill's hard work for his mission and vision, pouring over 40 years of coaching into these kids. Coach Hill has had more kids make it into college and playing at the next level and than any other coach that I'm aware of here in Eastern North Carolina. And it's his personal touch, his methods, his ways and means of getting these kids to have that effect, that Coach K effect that I think Coach Hill has, getting the most out of the kids so that they can become all that they can be. And so this is going to be an event about the kids, the families, the coaches, and it's going to be a lot of triumph and championship themed energy in the air.
Looking forward to it, Pete, and looking forward to meeting you and Coach Hill certainly next Sunday night. That's at the Murphy Center there, Harvey Hall, I believe, right, Coach?
Yes, sir. Yep.
We're looking for, and what that starts at 4:00.
4:00. They can go online and under Revel Nation and get their tickets, or we'd be grateful and very humbled if there's any sponsorships as well. We've got several that we're very obliged and thankful and very appreciative.
That's www.
Go ahead.
Yep, revelnationent.com. www.revel, REVELNATIONENT.com.
All right.
Yeah, and you can also go to our Facebook page here on the Sports Objective, and there's a link there to pay Coach Hill directly through his Venmo for tickets. So either one of those two ways will work.
All right, we look forward to it, and I'll see you guys next Saturday, late afternoon, early evening.
Next Sunday at 4 p.m.
I'm Sunday. Now I've got it next Sunday. I had it right the first time. Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you for your time.
See you there.
All right, we'll be there. All right, bye-bye. I had it right first go, and then
yeah, I messed you up on that one, Dave. I'm sorry. I apologize, but yeah, it's definitely next Sunday, 4 p.m. start time at the Murphy Center. $15 per ticket. Like I said, you can pay Coach Hill directly through his Venmo, or you can go through the Revel Nation website. That is Revel with a V, not Rebel with a B. And also purchase your tickets there. It's $15. That's worth that just for the Parker's Barbecue alone, let alone all the great speakers and getting to meet a former world champion. A lot of great Pirates will be there. Matt, did you play with Phoenix Evans?
Say that again, Kyle. Did I what?
Did you play with Phoenix Evans?
No. He was after me.
He was
okay. Yeah, he'll be there for all the Pirate football fans. He'll be one of the speakers amongst many other Pirates. Coach Gary Overton will be in attendance. He won't be speaking, but feel free to go up to Coach O and talk baseball with him. And pretend like the meals aren't free and tell Coach O that, you just continuously tell everybody that everything's going on Coach O's tab, even though the meal's already included, and stress him out because, Coach O's known to be a bit frugal.
Yeah, he's very tight with his money. But let's talk about the bowls, by the way. Justin Butts puts out there for the AAC guys, the bowl lineups. Memphis versus West Virginia. You have Tulane versus Florida. You have Texas San Antonio versus Coastal. South Florida, USF versus San Jose State. Oklahoma versus Navy. ECU, of course, versus State, our game. And Marshall versus Navy, and North Texas versus Texas State.
I think it's Marshall versus Army, actually.
Yeah, that's what I said, right? Marshall.
You said Navy.
I meant to say Army. I'm sorry, Marshall.
Yeah, and the Independence Bowl. A lot of great opportunities there against Power 4 opponents. Conference champions there with Marshall. They won the Sun Belt. And how about the news that Marshall head coach, I guess it's official now, Charles Huff, leaving Marshall after winning the Sun Belt to take the head coaching job at Southern Miss. So leaving to stay within the old conference. I think it's a situation where him and the AD did not get along.
Yep.
And he is out of there and going to Hattiesburg.
Yeah, like I said, I think he's a really good coach. I mean, look at the way Marshall finished the season there. That was an impressive win yesterday. They beat the doors off Louisiana. So that's an interesting game. I'll tell you, the other one that I find intriguing is UTSA against Coastal. And, UTSA is a team that got better and better as the season went on. I think that'll be a fun game to watch.
And guys, do you want to talk about the as far as the college football playoff? Do you want to go over those games real quick? I thought it was interesting. By the way, I think I'm right on this, guys. Out of the 12 teams, you were talking about the SEC. They're complaining, but they got 3 out of 12 teams, right, Matt and Kyle? You have Tennessee, Georgia, obviously those two.
Yeah, Tennessee, Georgia, Texas.
Texas, yeah.
I don't know how many they wanted in. I know South Carolina and Alabama were both in the talks. I guess they thought they should get the whole conference in. It's like I posted on TikTok today for some SEC guy who was mad about Alabama not getting in here. Lane Kiffin made the comments he made. I'll tell you what, let the SEC and the Big Ten go form their own league, their own division, and then when all the other schools from the Big 12 to the American to the Mountain West to the ACC, all the fans of those schools aren't watching anymore because they're playing in a different division while the SEC and Big Ten are playing amongst themselves. Let's see how the ratings go down. So the SEC needs to shut up. It's not the SEC Invitational. You got 3 teams in. Is South Carolina a good team? Yes. Is Alabama a good team? Yes. But you can't have 12 SEC teams. That's called the SEC Conference. So it's ridiculous that they get 3 teams in and they still want more.
Expanded to 16.
It still won't be enough. There'll be somebody from the SEC complaining they didn't get in.
Think about this. Here's the deal. All these people that made fun of Vanderbilt, you were talking about earlier, I was going to make a point and I forgot. I just realized it. You want to have it both ways. Well, you always make fun of Vanderbilt, but they beat you, Alabama. They beat you this year. You lost 3 football games. If we only lost 3 football games, it'll be, like a huge year. But when Alabama loses 3 football games, they don't deserve to be in the playoff. And it's plain and simple. You lose. They lost to Oklahoma, right?
Badly. They lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah, badly. So, the games you've lost, you have no business being in the playoff whatsoever. And here's another thing. If you don't like the fact you're beating up on each other, why don't you move to another conference? Oh, wait, you won't get that big paycheck. So you can't have it both ways. You get the big pay, South Carolina, Ole Miss, you get the big paycheck when we don't. So take the check and shut up. That's what I say. That you get big money. It's always next year. We always have to hear that mess. Well, if you win 12 games, if you did this, if it's raining on the first Tuesday or some kind of crazy mess, then you'll finally get in. We opened up the door with Cincinnati a few years ago, and now there's a lot of deserve to be in the playoff.
Yeah, like I think it's it's interesting. So many people today are talking about, did the best 12 teams make it? But here's the thing to remember: there is a format to this thing. The conference champions, you get one from the group of 5, right? It's really no different when you think about March Madness, right? Obviously a bigger field, 64 teams, but here's the thing, right? You get the conference champions in. So, like, let's say you get a team like Mercer, right, into the NCAA tournament, into March Madness. Are they maybe better than a mid-tier Big East team, like, let's say, Providence, for example? Probably not. Providence probably beats them 7 out of 10 games. But here's the thing. There's a criteria and there's a format to it.
Right.
And the format has been laid out. And, if the SEC doesn't like it, that's their problem. They have all the money, all the resources in the world. Nobody should feel sorry for, especially Alabama.
Nope. And it's not like they haven't won in a million years. You look at even Notre Dame hasn't won since I was 15 the last time Notre Dame won a national championship. So I like the fact, look at Tennessee. What was it, 98? 98 when they won with T. Martin, right after somewhere along the late 90s, the last time Tennessee won a national championship. I'm happy for them. Look at Clemson. They've had a crazy year, but they've been there a lot. But how about that game, guys? I fell asleep before. I didn't get to see it live. I watched almost the whole game and missed the ending, the most important part. A 56-yarder from Clemson to win the ACC championship. And it's kind of cool in one respect because nobody thought that Clemson would do that. And also it brought up the scenario. It put a real test to the committee, because if SMU wins that, they're going to be in it anyway. But I thought it was really fascinating to see what would the committee do with Clemson winning, and SMU has been great all year long. Clemson hasn't had the year that they normally would have. They've been down a little bit the last couple of years. The fact that they're the ACC champion. The other thing is you can't, if you're trying to grow a sport, which you should be, if that's your, Greg Sankey can say all that he wants to, but the only way the SEC is better is if college football is better. And the way college football is better is, I believe, the conference champions get in. And just like with us, I would like to see it expand, where I've always said that you should have more than one group of 5, if you will, champion in there. And have some more at-large teams, but you could have at least 6 at-large teams if you have 16. So they're going to get to that. I'm just happy it's gone from 4 to 12 guys for sure. In fact, by the way, Justin said I have some cool stuff planned with the Queen Anne's III for this bowl game behind the scenes. So I'm sure that'll be on. Justin, is that on YouTube, I take it? And then John White says ACC championship and rank 12 says a lot of the state of the ACC. I was going to mention that too, is that, if there's Kyle, you've talked about this before, I think Matt some, but you were just talking about the all the conferences that are not Big Ten. Sorry, Matt, I love you. I do love the Big Ten, but Big Ten and SEC, all those conferences should get together and really, really put some pressure on those two conferences, because they can say what they want to, but Kyle is absolutely right. And Matt, I know you agree on this too, is that as long as all the conferences are Division I, then we have a reason to watch those games. If you're not going to play fairly, or whatever you want to say, or I'm in charge of the SEC and it's only my job to take care of the SEC, that's great during the regular season and the off season. But when it comes to the playoffs, it should be the college football community, because I've told you guys this before. What's funny is the fact that you look at pro football, and everybody, there are people here on the show and watching and listening to the show that don't like pro football. That's fine. The reason why they get it right is, like Matt said, is they have a formula. If you want to be in the playoffs in the NFL, you know what you have to do. And if you do it, then you make the playoffs. It's not a committee. And at least right now, it's a better format that we have now with college football. But they really should look at putting those because the college football championship games, the college the championship games are so dramatic now because now oh wow, they could be left out if they don't win that game. Whereas before it was just money grab. It was so it was. I don't know.
Most of the championship games were horrible, despite that. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I think we should explain the playoff further. Matt, did you have something you wanted to say about that before we talk a little bit more about the bowl games?
Yeah, I just think you're gonna see some interesting things come out of this. I think you're gonna see the SEC and the Big Ten. This is going to kind of reinforce them trying to break away, and that's going to be led by the SEC. And then I also think you're going to see, to Dave's point about championship games, I think you're going to see the SEC try to get rid of the championship game.
We're not going to do that because I know what you're saying, Matt.
They're going to try to fix this any way they can to get more of their own teams in.
But the problem is, though, that's true. I agree with what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying at all, Matt. What I was going to say is what you said earlier, they want it both ways. They want it where more teams get in and they can still have their championship game. And talk about the people in Atlanta. They're going to be pitching a fit because that's a lot of hotel rooms. Think about the economic value, the impact of the SEC not having a championship game and not having it in Atlanta anymore. You look at how many tickets are sold there to the Mercedes-Benz Dome. I could go on and on the reasons why they'll keep it, but I know what you're saying. They want to have it both ways. They want to have the championship game and they want to have like at least 5 or 6 teams in there. And that's not going to happen. And that's exactly what's funny is, guys, that's exactly why they wanted 12 teams is they thought they were going to get like half the field, like 6 teams, and they got 3. Hey, you still got 25% of the whole field.
Yeah, no doubt. And, the college football playoff will be fun to watch once it gets here, but there's a lot of bowl games. We briefly went over the American bowl games. You want to go over those again in more detail real fast?
Sure. We just had the American games, but if you guys, we can pull up the.
Let's just concentrate on the American bowls.
Okay, hold on one
Otherwise,
second.
we'll be here all night.
Yeah, we're going to do, and by the way, folks, we're going to do this was mainly for obviously our school. And if you guys have, Jonathan said, by the way, the tickets are not up on the website yet for ECU tickets as far as buying it. He said he went to the Military Bowl site to order tickets. It doesn't say which side is ECU on. Do y'all know which side? Also calls it pet friendly motel.
I thought I did see something. Let me check. I'll check while we're talking.
Yeah, there was some pet friendly motels mentioned earlier. If you want to look in the chat there, there were several mentioned earlier because I was asking about that.
The Hilton Garden Inn. Who was that? Was that Jonathan?
Nesta, and it was Sonesta.
Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Annapolis. Yeah.
Sections 1 through 8 is Pirates, and I'm in. My tickets are. My family. We're going to be in 5A. I know that for a fact. He's saying the press box side.
The press box side? Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And Bobby says, I like his point too, by the way. He says conferences have grown so big now, it'll be tough to determine a champion without a conference title game. Thank you, Bobby. I was going to mention that earlier when it comes to, we were talking about championship games earlier. And how do you determine that? Do you just say, well, what the SEC would like to do is just say Alabama every year. So, anyway,
if the SEC had it their way, they would have all SEC. But getting back to what Kyle was saying, Kyle, here's the American games, the American Bowl games. Am I saying that? Is Marshall got Army? Is that what that says there?
Yeah, you got Memphis, Tulane. You got Memphis Tulane does not make any sense. What am I reading wrong here? Memphis, West Virginia in the Frisco Bowl. You got Tulane versus Florida. What bowl? Do we know what bowl that is? Tulane versus Florida. Is that
I'm not sure. Is that Gasparilla?
Is that Gasparilla?
Guessing off the top of my head.
You got down to Myrtle Beach. You're going to have UTSA against Coastal. You got South Florida versus San Jose State. You got Oklahoma against Navy. Again, I'm not sure what bowl that is. You got East Carolina versus NC State in the military. You got Marshall taking on Army in the Independence, and North Texas against Texas State. It's at the Armed Forces, I would assume. If we're getting the bowls wrong, let me know. But so some interesting bowl matchups there for sure. Which one of those bowls outside of ours appeals to you guys the most? Tulane and Florida kind of catches my interest.
Yeah, that was one that thank you, Justin. I've been focused on ECU stuff, and then we had a church tree lighting, so I haven't had a chance to research all the games yet because we had the press conference and then literally we're doing the show. So I apologize. I normally have researched it better, but yes, Tulane, to answer your question, the short answer, Tulane versus Florida was my number one. I also kind of like the Matt, I want to get your take on Oklahoma Navy would be my second pick. I just wanted, what do you think about that one? And Kyle?
That's an interesting matchup.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
No, interesting matchup. I mean, it's, obviously Oklahoma's more talented than the Navy, but, everybody's more talented than the Navy, but they beat people anyway because of their unique offense. They play a good defensive scheme. A lot like Army, a lot of consistency there. A lot of kids that, no NIL, nobody transfers in, nobody transfers out. Those guys play together for a long time. So you look and you say, well, it's an uphill battle for Navy. Well, it's an uphill battle for Navy every week, and they win anyway. And their quarterback should be back for that bowl game, Horvath. So, Oklahoma hadn't played very good football, did get the upset over Alabama late in the season. But the American has an opportunity to make a lot of statements here in the postseason.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting matchup. To your point, Oklahoma. You don't know what to make of Oklahoma. They've been a very up and down team this year. You mentioned the Alabama game, which I'm still trying to figure out exactly how that happened. But I'll tell you a team that's not playing well right now, and that's Tulane. Going back to last week against Memphis, and then yesterday against Army, they did not look good at all. Or was that 2 days ago? I'm losing track. They really didn't look good in that game. That's a team that's kind of limping into this Gasparilla Bowl against Florida. And conversely, you look at the Florida Gators, everybody was ready to fire Billy Napier early in the year.
Oh, yeah.
And that guy did a hell of a job keeping that team together under a lot of adversity and a lot of different circumstances, a lot of injuries, tons of injuries. And now you look at Florida, that's a team that's rolling with a really good freshman quarterback that's got a chance to be like an all SEC type player, really good running back in ball. And all of a sudden now the Florida Gators, that's a program on the upswing. And so I like Florida to take care of business pretty easily against Tulane.
I think Memphis has a nice matchup with West Virginia. They're going to have an interim head coach for that bowl game. Probably a lot of opt-outs. Frisco Bowl, not exactly the most exciting bowl. I could see a lot of West Virginia players opting out of that one. So it's a big chance for Memphis to get a really nice win there. And I believe Memphis quietly had a 10-win season, if I'm not mistaken.
Believe you're right. Let me check. I'll check that as you keep talking.
Yeah, no, I believe they did. So they'll be playing, I think, for their 11th win of the year, coming off of a nice win over
10-2. Yep,
Tulane.
Right,
yeah, 10-2, coming over a nice win over Tulane. I believe they at one time I think they ranked in the top 25 somewhere. I know I saw them in the top 25 one poll. So Memphis, I think, has a really good chance to beat West Virginia in that ball game.
Yeah, and then you look at, again, just kind of going back to, well, Kyle, actually, I think you're 100% right. I mean, West Virginia is a team that's on life support right now. Look at their last game of the season. They played, was it Baylor? Who was it? Was it Baylor or I can't remember who it was. I think it was Baylor. But they got absolutely annihilated at home in their last game of the season. That's a team that just kind of mailed it in, I think, with the firing of Neil Brown. So, yeah, you're right. Memphis is I expect Memphis to take care of business easily. And but really quick, just to go back to that Tulane Army game, you look at Army, man. First of all, the quarterback. Bryson Daly. I think he's an NFL player. And, people are going to say, oh, well, he's a quarterback. Come on. Well, he is a guy that you can use in the NFL in a lot of different packages, whether it's short yardage, red zone. You can play him as a fullback, an H-back. You can run wildcat. You can do so many things with him. He is a definite NFL player. He's dominant. He's a dominant football player. So, but, that I think you look at who played Army the best all year. UTSA almost beat them a few weeks ago. UTSA played them. Did you guys catch that game? Because they almost won it. I'm sure Kyle caught it because he watches a lot of.
Which game was that, Matt? I'm sorry.
UTSA at West Point 2 weeks ago.
Yes, I did watch quite a bit of that. UTSA was playing good football at the end of the year. They got better as the year went, as I thought they would. Brand new quarterback down there. That guy's a good coach. He's very much a teacher. I don't know how much they attack the portal, but that is definitely his style. He's an old high school coach, and they got better as the year went. Playing good football right now. So that matchup they have with Coastal. Coastal kind of struggled down the stretch. They are playing in Myrtle Beach though. So home field advantage for Coastal. But I still think UTSA, and again, how excited is Coastal going to be about that bowl game, staying at home? They'll have a home field advantage big time, but I would imagine UTSA, that'll be a cool trip for them to get to come up to Myrtle Beach. Those kids, we all talk about dirty Myrtle and maybe make fun of it, but it is a fun place to visit, and there's a lot to do. So those kids from San Antonio will enjoy that trip. That ought to be a good ball game also.
Yeah, and McCown is a quarterback who, when you look at UTSA, McCown they wanted to throw him away early in the season, but he's a guy who got better and better as the season went on, and now all of a sudden it looks like he's got a pretty good future there in San Antonio.
Guys, I'm gonna dip out of here. Okay. I hate to do this on the bowl show, but as you guys can tell, I'm muting my mic constantly because I'm coughing. I feel like crap. For those wondering, I was diagnosed with RSV, even though I'm not a toddler. It's typically a disease. A virus small children get. I think it's turning into some bronchitis. Been fighting this since about Tuesday, Wednesday. Got diagnosed Thursday. Pretty sick. So I'm kind of worn out here from talking and sick of muting my mic for coughing. So we will definitely do a more in-depth full-scale bowl preview with Bubba in the coming weeks before all these bowl games get underway. Actually, first bowl game of the year is next weekend. So first time I ever remember there being a bowl game the same day as the Army-Navy game. But you got the whatever the bowl in Montgomery's called now next Saturday night. So used to be the Camilla. I think it's got a new name now. But
Justice,
so anyway, guys, say again.
Justice said, "Love you, Kyle."
I appreciate it, Justin. Love you too. Guys, I'm out of here. You guys hold the fort down, and I'll be back for the next show. Hopefully, feeling better and in more of a mood to talk football.
Feel better, man.
All right,
appreciate it. Later, and go Pirates.
All right, yeah, man. Feel better. Get some rest. Hey, Matt, this is a great one for you. Thanks to our friend Bubba behind the scenes. UConn is going to play North Carolina at Fenway Bowl.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Go UConn.
I'll definitely be a Husky that day. You know that. ABC. I don't know that I've ever pulled for UConn, but it'll definitely be in the Fenway Bowl. And if I live closer to Fenway, I would definitely be there with you, Matt, and definitely pulling for UConn for sure, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave, I was just wondering, somebody mentioned portal updates. Did you want to touch on some of our outgoing portal guys?
Yes, that was one of my things I was going to talk about is the fact you and me left. I was going to ask you, that was one of the things I'm trying to say that I'm concerned about because the portal opens up tomorrow, correct? Am I wrong on that?
I think you're actually right on that. It's either tomorrow or the next day.
So the reason that was one of the things I was going to talk about, and we had that ask is a very fact of what do you think about losing? I mean, Bobby, there it is. That was the comment I was looking for. He said we need to limit our transfer portal losses. Chase Sewell leaving hurts. To a certain extent, it does. However, Bobby, I will tell you this. It may sound like I'm a homer, and I'm not on this particular topic. Matt, I want to get you are our expert when it comes to the portal, so I want to pitch that to you. It hurts as far as depth is concerned, but I don't think Chase Sowell had the year that we thought he would have. And there's some others to where, to let you know, Bobby, in behind the scenes, they were asked to leave because they're not going to get playing time. We were looking out for the individual. So I'll pitch it to you after saying that, Matt. It's not always these players leaving. It's because they're told to leave, basically.
Yeah, I'll start on the Chase Sowell situation. And, that one really surprised me. And I'll tell you why. Sowell is a guy that started at Colorado and by all accounts was kind of forced out there. He was part of that whole crunch with Dion where he got rid of, or asked like 50 players to go into the portal. And so, you look at him, he gets an opportunity to come to East Carolina, and he's given a great opportunity here to play, to start and to play football. And, he basically takes that opportunity and, he played okay. I think he's a pretty average player. Hands are suspect at best. And, he did a pretty good job here at times. I'm certainly not going to lose any sleep over it at all. I like what we have. I like, Yannick Smith. I expected to start at his position next year anyway. And so I think we're going to come out of that okay. I think more than anything, it just surprised me. There's just no loyalty anymore, and guys will just hit the portal looking for a quick paycheck. So, it just surprised me more than anything. What were your thoughts on that, Dave? Dave, I think you're on mute, but I'll get into yeah.
Sorry, I was using the restroom. Sorry, but anyway, I'm back now. I was just going to say on him is you were spot on everything you said. For us, it was a matter of it wasn't.
Dave, I think you locked up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm back now.
Okay.
So it's a matter of, for me personally, that you and me, I thought with him that he would have had a better year. In fact, here you go. Thank you, Shell. Too many drops this year, and I agree with you, Shell. Hello to Shell and our good friend Shell and Randy Powell. Want to say hello. Randy is a great athlete. I'm trying to get Randy Powell, a legacy recruit, Chase Semenza, legacy recruit, maybe Alex Richmond, legacy recruit. We'll see. But anyway, that's a whole sidebar. But to answer your question, I think Chase Sowell, not Chase Semenza. Chase Semenza is a baller, and I doubt he would leave ECU. But anyway, Robert Dedrick says Javius Bond is the biggest loss so far. The problem, Robert, though, is with Javius Bond is I think his issue is injuries. I don't think it's his talent. I think it's his injuries. I would love to have him here, but I think do you know that for a fact, Matt, he's asked to leave?
Based on what I've read, it sounds like he was asked to leave, and that definitely surprised me too. I think the two guys, when you look at so far, that you would sort of raise an eyebrow. Obviously, we talked about Sowell, but Javius Bond, that's a situation where he's a guy with so much talent, so much natural ability. But he's just been injury prone, and it's been unfortunate. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy and be durable. He doesn't have that durability that you need from a running back. And he's not a particularly big guy. So, unfortunately, he hit the portal. And from what I understand, he was asked to leave. And, hey, you never know what goes on behind the scenes, but maybe he's got a lingering injury that the coaching staff just felt like, hey, it's best to just kind of part ways, and you have an opportunity to go somewhere else. So, so we'll see what happens. I do, if that is the case and he was asked to leave, I do hope that he can put it together somewhere else, because if he can stay healthy and find a way to maximize his God-given talent, I mean, he can play football. There's no doubt about it.
No question. And Bubba says, yes, assuming he would have been able to stay on the field, but that was looking very unlikely, I guess, talking about Javius Bond. And by the way, our good friend Justin Butts, he says a lot of Pirates are staying at the Hilton Garden Inn, by the way.
That's where I'm staying,
yeah.
Justin. So that's.
All
I
the
want to say
drinks-
there's. Yeah, well, Bubba already promised the first round, so.
Oh yeah, Bubba doesn't know that, does he?
I think there's 2 Hilton Garden Inns, just to be clear.
Oh, okay.
There's downtown Annapolis, the Hilton Garden Inn. That's the one I'm staying at. But I'm not sure if I'm assuming Justin's talking about the same one.
He said, so the plans for the team is to stay in D.C. at the Capitol Hilton and travel to Annapolis the night before the game. So if you're looking for to see them, there you go.
Gotcha.
Robert's saying he can't play with pain. Talking about Javius Bond, I don't see. It's been very difficult for him, so I think that's why. Matt and I talked about this a few weeks ago on the show. There's a difference between being hurt and injured. Hurt means what the player, and I can't speak to this. That would be a Matt thing. Hurt is when you're hurt because of the football season, but injured means there's a really major injury and you can't play. And to me, I've always heard that from football players and coaches. There's a big difference between being hurt and being injured, right, Matt?
Oh yeah. You're always hurt, especially late in the season. You're going to be playing with sometimes broken bones, deep bone bruises, pulled muscles. I mean, a lot of times towards the end of the season, you're just trying to find a way through. I wasn't sure if he was talking about Bond or Sowell, because that was one of my questions with Sowell. Obviously he had planned to hit the portal. That was something that was planned. Yeah. So was he not able to play in those last 2 games? I'm really curious. Was he that hurt where he couldn't play in those last 2 games, or was he just taking the soft way out and saving himself for the portal, which is certainly not a respectable thing.
By the way,
and I don't know the answer to that, but I suspect he could have played First Navy.
By the way, Matt, I'm going to say this, and I shouldn't say it, but I can say it now that he's leaving. Do you know what Chase Sowell's biggest problem is? Do you know what it is? You already know, but
drops. Yeah, the drops. Tough.
No. That is true. The biggest problem for Chase Sowell off the field is his dad. His dad, look, I think my son and daughter are the best thing since sliced bread. I'm sure you think Avery and Chase are the best things ever. But when it comes to talking Division I football, okay, like Matt said, you had your opportunity at Colorado. You got pushed out by Primetime, okay? Coach Primetime pushed you out. We welcome you with open arms. It's not like you were sitting on the bench, right? You're actually getting your chances. We started out rough, but all of a sudden we've turned it around. And guess what? Things are looking bright for this future of this team. Win the bowl game or not, we are going to be really good next year. We open with NC State. The schedule is better. Everything's better in 2025. So why not make a statement? But Chase Sowell's problem is, like a lot of these players, is they think they're better than they are because they hear this talk. All their friends and family at home say, "Oh, but Matt, you should be getting 50 tackles a game." Not really. That's too many, but you know what I'm saying. I'm exaggerating. But as a linebacker, oh man, you're great. You should be starting right now. And the reality is that you need to work your way up, and it's okay that you have to be second or third on the depth chart. That's a great it's a great motivator. Like my son right now is in 6th grade. He's not top of the line right now. He's got to work his way to the top of the middle school basketball team, and he's okay with that. That's what he's doing right now. So you have to start somewhere, and we gave him an opportunity, and we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Like the one thing I'll say is, again, I think Yannick Smith was going to take his starting position anyway, so I'm not really worried about it at all. I'm really excited for Yannick. I think Yannick is a talent that you don't always get at East Carolina, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but he is a unique talent, and I'm really hoping we can keep him. Here's the thing, right? Like when you look at Yannick Smith, he is definitely going to have big offers, but when you think about what's in it for him, like what's in his best interest, for him to stay here, right, at East Carolina, he's going to have a monster year.
Yeah.
And he's going to have 60 plus receptions, probably 7 to 10 touchdowns, and really have a chance to elevate himself. So, at that point, you don't know if you can hang on to him just because of the money situation and the type of NIL money that's out there. But I think for him to stay here for another year and really showcase his abilities at East Carolina, I think would be really good for him. I think very highly of him as a player. So that's, I hope he's a guy you really want to keep.
John says, will Yannick Smith stay, though? Super talented. Well, let me tell you this, guys. Let me just say this. Anthony Smith, doesn't Anthony Smith have one more? Does he have one more year?
He does. He's got one more. Yep.
Yeah. So you're going to have, I thought so. So I want to make sure. Next year, we got the law firm of Smith & Smith. I'm telling you, go ahead and get the T-shirts printed right now, Matt. We always talk about wide receiver U. Smith & Smith next year, you talk about, and you look at Hauser. Hauser's he was just a sophomore. He's got 2 more years. You look at the Hodge kid, both Hodge kids, brothers are going to be here. I'm telling you guys right now, with the transfer portal, another thing we're going to talk in depth on another show, but probably next month after the bowl game, is the fact that you have in January, you're going to have, there's a lot of, Matt, this is one thing I want to get your opinion on. I haven't asked you this, so this is audible, but I think I know you very well to know the answer to this question. He says Smith & Smith, love it. Yeah, I'm telling you guys right now, so we're going to make a living off of that law firm for 1 year. And you know what I'll say to John is we're at the point now, even if we have Yannick Smith for 1 more year, at least we had him for 2. And the other thing is, Matt, going to that point, what are your thoughts on, I just really feel like there's a lot of high school kids, but even more JUCO kids that we could get. There's a tapped resource, that we've jumped all into these kids jumping from school to school, and there's high school kids and JUCO kids that we're missing out on. I'm talking about college football as a whole. I'm not being negative towards just East Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to continue to bring in a certain number of high school football players, I think you have to look at those guys as, in particular, the skill positions. All right. They have to be able to really contribute in year 1. I think that's the big thing. You bring in high school players, they have to be able to contribute in year 1. Now, offensive line's a little different because it takes time to develop there usually, almost always. But I think the opportunity for East Carolina to excel is better than ever because we can get in the portal and we can have success. And, I just think it's easier than it's ever been to build a roster quickly. And I would spend the majority of my recruiting in the portal, in particular, on the O-line. I would definitely pretty much go all portal, almost. Not all, but, the vast majority would be portal. And I would probably be something like a 70-30 split. Okay. Portal, JUCO, portal versus high school. And the 30% would be high school.
I know. No, I'll tell you what, the things have changed so much. All these coaches have left or leaving, retiring, whatever. But for me, I still think my thing is, Matt, when you look at Eastern North Carolina, you have Northeastern, you have Edenton, you have even my school, but you have Tarboro. There's lots of schools in Eastern North Carolina alone in the 252, as we say, that we have top talent. And did I say that we're going to take every team in Martin County? I mean, every player in Martin County High School? No, absolutely not. Same thing with all of the other schools. But I do believe that there's a pipeline of guys in the 252, the 919, the 704, et cetera, in North Carolina. And you also have South Carolina, Virginia. I think one of the things, and in fact, Shill makes a great point. Johnny Williams, who from Havelock, he's like a 5'9" kid.
Yeah, wide receiver. Yep.
Yeah, we got him. Great point, Shill. He had flipped, and he's flipped back now. That's why hiring Blake Harrell is so a good thing. not because it's our sentimental pick, because we won 4 out of 5 and soon to be 5 out of 6. Just wait. John White says Smith and Hauser. That's your law firm. Okay, I'll go with that. Hey, you guys are a lot smarter than I am, and I tell you what, I don't care. Look, y'all can print those T-shirts up. I don't care as long as we're winning football games. Have at it, my friend. John is a great friend of the show and obviously one of the best baseball pitchers at East Carolina, and we have a lot of talent. I can't wait to do a show on them. A lot of talent coming in for ECU, and hopefully Chase Semenza soon. Is it 2 years, Matt? 2 more years?
So. Oh yeah, he's got 3 more seasons in high school, so we got a long way to go. But hey, that would be a dream come true, man. That would be
John, help us out, bro. You're a ECU alum, a baseball player. Chase Semenza, I'm telling you, is one of the best players in the Northeast playing travel ball. I'm not saying that because Matt is his dad and friend. Got a chance to. By the way, thank you.
Appreciate that, Dave. Thank you.
Just like Randy Powell, Shell Powell's son, another great one that hopefully we can get. But just the fact that you guys were a great host on, I want to say this, got a chance to see Matt Semenza. I've been talking to Semenza for 4 years about going to Madison Square Garden. He was a great host. I appreciate you very much, my friend. Madison Square Garden is the real deal. It is the mecca of basketball. We had a chance to watch the Knicks play. And unfortunately, Shell, they were playing the Hornets and we lost. But, you know, the Knicks are better. Thankfully, the Knicks are a really good team. So you don't mind losing to a team that's way better than you. It's when you lose to a team that is really horrible and you play down to them. That's when it's really hard for me.
Yeah, Dave, it was great to see you guys at Madison Square Garden in New York City, and had a good time at the Garden. The place is awesome place to take in a game. So that was fun, man. One other guy, Dave, I wanted to mention, since you mentioned Johnny Williams, who was recently signed out of high school. We also flipped a DB, Darion Horsley. I believe I'm saying his name properly. He's a 6'2" defensive back who was committed to Mississippi State, and he was flipped about a day before signing day. So another 6'2" DB. You look at this recruiting class that we got out of high school, and we got a number of corners. We got Tavius Horn, who's a 5'11" corner. Right. We got a safety, Durante Spear, who's 6'2". We got Angelo Ross, another corner who's 6'1". So, you're seeing, actually, I should mention, too, a former teammate of mine, Bernard Lackey, his son, we signed as a safety, his 6'2", 175 safety out of Georgia. So we did really well in this secondary. Okay. And you look at these guys, they have length. That's the big kind of the catchphrase you hear now in college football, and Blake Harrell talks a lot about length, and you can make up for, a bad step or two when you have really long arms and size. So I do like, I didn't want to make it sound like I didn't like this class. I do really like this class a lot. In particular, I think in the secondary, I think we did really well.
What about, he's talking about Kendrick Davis is a stud linebacker from Charlotte, Palisades High School. Catholic played them in the second round of the playoffs. Randy was on the losing end of one of his hits. And he says Kendrick is 6'2".
Yeah, a lot of size. Hopefully Randy's okay. But a lot of size, in this class, and that's in terms of length, which is what you want. Certainly what you want. Also, like the quarterback. Actually, let's get to this question first here.
John says, always send prospects the way of my bro-in-law, Nationals organization, pitching a coach. His boss is Sam Nair in ECU and Eastern North Carolina. So on it, Matt. Thank you, John.
John, I appreciate that, John. Hey, anything you could do, much appreciated. So thank you.
I don't know if cry more, me or Matt. I'm sure Matt will probably cry more, but
yeah, anyway. Man, I'd be a happy guy.
Here's another question. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Dave.
Is Caton Hauser a sophomore, and what is Garcia? I think Caton is a sophomore and Garcia is a junior. Is that right?
Caton has 2 more years of eligibility left. All right, so he just finished his sophomore season of eligibility. Garcia, I believe, has one more year left. I could be wrong on that.
That's correct.
I think he's got one more year left, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Garcia. He's a very talented guy. I mean, he can sling it. For whatever reason, it just didn't work out. Didn't look comfortable in this offense this year, but I do think he can play college football and, at a pretty high level for maybe it's at the FCS level. I'm not sure, but, it'll be interesting to see what happens with him.
By the way, Justin says we need Matt Sum to come to play ECU for baseball, and we got to hold him. He'll put the NIL money up. So all right, Justin, you're already buying all everybody's drinks and NIL money for. Go ahead and start saving your pennies right now for. It's going to be $100 bills for Chase Semenza. That's all I'm saying. Forget the pennies. Forget us.
I really appreciate all the support, fellas. Thanks, Justin. If you want to put the NIL up, I'll take it. I'll definitely take that money.
Justin? No doubt, Justin. Thank you. Don't we have a third quarterback? Can't think of his names. We have Jeter and also Hodge, right? It's both Hodges. They're brothers, aren't they, from Kentucky? Aren't they coming? I know one was hurt, and oh man, he said 100,000 for Chase to come here.
I'll take that, Justin. I'll take that today. I'm committed. We're committed. Thank you.
All right, all right. You can go ahead and sign him now with 3 years remaining. David, I want to give money to the team Boneyard. Can I tell them I wanted to go to the football team? Can you explain how it works? Thanks. Yes. So what you do is you can actually on there, they have like a button that says like general for NIL fund. And I would have to see the website. I don't want to waste my time. But if you go on teamboneyard.org, you have a choice to do that general NIL or for meaning like a general fund, or you can put up there that you want it to specifically for football. And he says he wants to donate $25. Just Jonathan, that is what I'm talking about. You guys are now. Jonathan is a perfect example of all of us who are doing that. I'm giving $50 a month. He's giving $25. If you can give $10 a month, all the players. Well, we are players. We support the team. All the middle class, working class people, you can give $10 to $25 a month. Matt, can you imagine how much money you would have in the football NIL portal, where you could be like, you could be a secret agent and say, look, we'll give you go to the grocery store. We have a suitcase full of $100 bills.
Well, absolutely. And, appreciate Jonathan. And I think that's definitely the place to put our money now as fans.
Org is where you should send it.
Yeah. I mean, especially now when you think about like just priorities for East Carolina, the IPF is fully funded. So we're in good shape there. And now you kind of move on to your next priority, which is giving to NIL. So yeah, no doubt about it.
Thank you. Just like Justin says, give. If everybody, what's funny is I'm paying $24 a month on Netflix, and my whole family loves Netflix. That's why I have to get the multi-screens. So that way, when you try to watch it, it won't be like somebody else, is already watching the Netflix. And you know how it is, Matt, when you have a son, a daughter, my family stays here with me sometimes. Everybody wants to watch something different. It's $24 a month for Netflix now. So basically, Jonathan, what I'm paying for Netflix is what you're paying. You'll be paying for Team Boneyard. So that's how. If Matt, people are asking how we can keep Yannick Smith. The way you keep Yannick Smith is we need to give him as much money as possible. And obviously, if it's 2 or 3 million, something crazy like that, we don't have the money for that. But I do believe that he's a kid that if we can give him a decent amount of money, he might stay.
Yeah, and like the other way to keep a guy like that is you coach him, and you coach him hard, and you teach him how continue elevating his skills and how to be a great player. And a great role model for the younger guys in this program is Siobhan Ravel. Siobhan Ravel is a guy who could have left last year, and he could have got a lot of money to go to other places. Well, guess what? He was loyal. He got a solid NIL deal from East Carolina. He's now about to parlay that. It's terrible what happened with the injury. Absolutely hate that for him. But you talk about a true, like we talk about true Pirates. Ravel stayed here when he was being sort of advised to go to other places and take the money. And he stayed here, and the injury sucked what happened to him. I feel terrible for him, but guess what? He's about to parlay this into a first-round draft pick, and really happy for him. He's a great role model for somebody like Yannick Smith to look to. You can do it here.
Yeah.
You can achieve great things at East Carolina. Maybe the NIL might not be quite as much as you would get in the SEC, but he can do it here.
How about this? Robert Dedrick says 2 Happy Meals a month is $20. So there you go. Jonathan Davis says, don't worry, our great president will put more money in our pockets now we can give, unlike before Trump. Yes. Okay, we'll see how that we don't get into politics here, but I will tell you that all I care about is, Matt, you and I want the Pirates to win, and if we can get that number up, as Jonathan said, 1.1 million. We have 1.1 million. I think we have more than that, but I'll have to, maybe somebody else, Justin or Johnny Stats or somebody will know, maybe Matt, in NIL money. But I believe, I thought it was more like 2 with basketball and football, but I could be I could be wrong.
Football, I think this is just what I heard. I don't know. I mean, who knows? But I heard it's anywhere from like anywhere, and this is specifically for football. Like it could fluctuate between like 1.2 and 1.5.
Okay. So Jonathan's asking, thank you, by the way. I know Matt probably feels the same way. We've had a lot of people watching and viewing tonight, a lot of interest and a lot of questions and comments. So keep those coming. Jonathan Davis says, how is indoor practice facility coming along? It should have been built by now. Matt, you and I heard it's going to be in February. By the latest in March is when we're going to break ground in 2025. And you doggone right, Jonathan. I'm not going to go off my tangent like I normally do. But the most important part is that it will be built, and there's going to be a lot of things we can do with the indoor practice facility, as well as I believe I was told the other night, by the way, Matt, we are I don't know a number, but we're very, very, very close to paying off the baseball expansion. So keep that in mind for Pirates Unite. You can go to ECUPirateclub.com, and they have information about Pirates Unite. And you can give to any campaign you want to give to. If you want, go ahead and my suggestion is to give a lot of money to the baseball expansion. Let's help out Cliff Godwin. I know we're talking about football, but baseball, we are so close to having that to be breaking ground very soon. And my understanding is, Matt, you know more about this. You have more expertise in construction, but my understanding is we could have if everything, the perfect world, which we don't live in, I would lean towards 18 months, but I've heard is anywhere between 12 to 18 months to build indoor practice facilities, what I've been told. I don't know. You know more about it than I do.
That sounds about right, Dave. I mean, I know John Gilbert, and I was listening to the John Gilbert interview the other day, and I know he talked about that. So I'm sure some of our listeners heard. I could be wrong about this. I thought he said that we're going to break ground like roughly around March.
Okay, it is March.
That's what I thought I heard. So like break ground roughly around March. So, you figure it'll be ready to go by the 27 season, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's correct. And so Jonathan has one last question, and I think Matt will probably say we'll do last call on questions and comments. We'll do that now. Jonathan says, one last question. I'll shut up. I'm going to the game with my wife. Do y'all recommend going a day or two before the game? I've never been, and I'm worried about getting to the game and back. All right, here's the deal. So Matt can speak. I'll let Matt speak on Matt, you can speak on the festivities as far as a player. I can speak as far as media and a fan. If you want to talk about the advantages of going up, I don't know how much time, Jonathan, you have, but we'll tell you all about that. But as far as the festivities for the fans, the whole week is amazing. In fact, they said, by the way, Matt, I don't think we talked about it, the 23rd, They're going to have a chance for the kids to go shopping on the Saturday. They're going to the 25th, Christmas night, because it's Go Bowling. They're actually going bowling, Matt, literally bowling. The 26th, they're going to have, they have that lockdown for, they're going to actually, this is really cool, Matt. You know, I'm a political science major, a town commissioner in Williamston, so it's my world. But they're actually going to have a senator, U.S. senator, that's going to give them a private tour of the Capitol on the 26th.
Okay. All right. Interesting. A former U.S. senator?
No, a current U.S. senator. What
they didn't. U.S. senator. Interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's somebody they like, right? Hopefully it's somebody they like, because half of these senators are worthless. But
exactly.
I digress.
Yeah, he has all week. So my recommendation is, if you have all week and you're retired, my recommendation is to listen to Matt as far as like the fun part of a bowl is more than just the bowl game. The bowl game itself is great, especially if you win it. But to me, the activities around the bowl, you know, you can do that. I think there is a parade. He's saying, he's saying, I think there is a parade. They haven't made.
I would say, Jonathan, go to the Military Bowl website, and under one of the tabs, it says things to do. And I think it'll give you a good listing of things to do that are going on that week.
He said he just want to get mugged. Well, I'll tell you what you need to do. You stay with Matt Semenza. He's going to be he's your guy, and you can stay. Matt's about 6'4". He's a solid dude. He always underestimates himself. But you can stay at the downtown Hilton Garden Inn in Annapolis, and I'm sure he'll look out for you. Right, Matt? Pirates supporting Pirates.
Absolutely. I just laughing at Justin Butts. Heard it was Chuck Schumer. Well, if it's Chuck Schumer, I'm not going anywhere near that. But anyway, I think what I'm looking forward to is just, you know, I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of the people in person that chime into the show. You know, like Justin Butts, right? I've never met Justin in person.
He's hilarious.
I'm looking forward to that. You know, just all the people, you know, that we talked to on the show. And I'm looking forward to getting in a bar and having drinks and just having a good time and getting to meet everybody in person. Hopefully, you know, we get an opportunity to do that. And then a live show. Jonathan, we're going to do a live show, which will be awesome. Trying to figure the details out on that, right, Dave? But
yeah, we're working on that. We'll start.
That'll be a good time too. So we'll let everybody know. Dave, you sounded a little muffled. I think.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it just sounded a little low, a little lower.
Okay. I don't know what's going on there. How about now? Can you hear me now? Is it better?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, yeah. So we're going to do a show on the 27th, that Friday, and the 28th is my dad's mom, God rest her soul, her birthday. So I'll never forget that. The 28th is the bowl game, and that bowl game is going to be 5:30, 5:45 that night. So my recommendation is go up there. What we're doing is we're going on the 27th. And we're coming back on the 29th. We go to all the Commander games, Redskins games, and I will tell you that if it were me, I would try to avoid DC as much as possible. So what I would say is try to just keep in mind, allow what I always do. My long answer to it is allow at least 2 more hours than you expect. So if it's a 4-hour drive, allow 6 hours because it's going to be about 2 hours worth of traffic, and not to discourage anyone, but anyway. Oh, by the way, we have the QA and as a background for the live show. Hey, we could do a show. Matt and I could do a show just on the equipment alone. I'm a nerd, and I know Matt and Bubba being former football players, we could do that for sure. Shell says, Matt, do they have the Military Bowl old 96er on the menu?
Oh, this is funny. This is kind of a little inside joke, but Shell, I'll just say that I tried that when I did it when I was like, you know, I guess 18, and I couldn't do it anymore. I'm past those days. I think I'd probably last about 10 minutes eating that thing, but that's hilarious.
Jonathan was asking about guns, and DC and Maryland, they have very strict gun laws. So I will not tell you to do it. I will just tell you they have strict gun laws. So that way Matt and I, our legal team is frowning right now, Matt. They're saying we can't give legal advice on guns, but I will tell you that I think you know what I'm saying, Jonathan, without me saying it. So
yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know anything about that, honestly.
Maryland and DC are very strict on
I'm
guns.
just an old football guy.
And Shell's laughing at you, Matt.
Shell knows what I'm talking about. We were texting the other day.
But anyway, I'm very excited about this. Any final thoughts, Matt? I know we've kept you a long time, but we love it. Justin says, my goal is to meet the great Matt Semenza at the Bowl.
Can't wait, man. That'll be a good time. I'm all for it. Shots. Let's do some fireball shots, Justin. But
bring a lot.
I guess
a lot of Tylenol and water.
But I guess my final thoughts is like, you know what? Like I said early in the show, my NC State was my third choice. I was kind of hoping for UNC first. Pitt was my second choice. I thought that would have been only because we play NC State next year. But now that it's here, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to go support this team and pull for this team and pull for Blake Harrell and the coaching staff and I'm going to have a good time with a bunch of Pirates and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, here's the deal.
You know what? And this is a game that's winnable too. Sorry, Dave. I didn't mean to cut. This is a winnable game. We need to have a good month of preparation, game planning, and whatnot, and let's go win a football game.
No doubt. He says he's down. My final thing would be to say to you guys that here's, like you said, Matt, a winnable game. Hey, we're not going to Frisco, Texas. We're not going all the way out to Texas. We don't have this long bowl. And I've heard another thing, Matt. I'm going to say this and get out of here, I promise, because I've gone longer than I wanted to go. But you guys, I didn't want to leave you guys as far as we had a lot of great commentary and content tonight. But these people that complain about how cold it is, Matt, you were with me in New York City. I'm not complaining about the Military Bowl, okay? I'm not complaining. After a few days in New York City, I will not complain about the weather. I'm not complaining about hey, we got an opponent we like. As far as like a matchup, it's a bowl and it's short drive. There's plenty of hotel rooms. It seats 34,000, so there's plenty of tickets that you don't have to worry about. There's a lot of advantages here. And so here's one more, I'll leave you with this, one more comment. Matt, if I had told you after 3-4 on October 20th, after the Army game, that we would be playing in the Military Bowl 7-5 against NC State, would you have signed up for that?
Oh, absolutely, man. I didn't think at that point we were on life support, and I would have settled for any bowl game at that point. I didn't even think we were going to make a bowl game at that point. So what a turnaround, remarkable turnaround, and appreciate everybody chiming in tonight. I know we covered a lot of ground. We were kind of jumping around all over the place, the different topics, but looking forward to our more detailed bowl show here, Dave. I guess maybe next week we'll do that.
Yeah, it's just initial. I just want to tell everybody this is not our bowl show. This was like our initial reaction. This is normally when we have our Pirate football playback on Sunday nights. So this was our initial reaction. And maybe middle of the week or towards the end of the week on Wednesday or Thursday, we'll have like a bowl show. And that'll give us a chance to I'm telling you guys, I've had no time to prepare as far as all the bowls other than the playoff art and a little bit. I knew about a few of our bowls and as far as the conference goes, not all of them. And so we'll take a chance to the next few days to prepare. And then that'll give you guys more time to prepare as well. Thanks to Bubba, Kyle, Matt. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody watching and listening and participating tonight. Until next time, go Pirates.
You're watching the Sports